3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Good evening, everybody. It's back. The Leicester shirt is back. I said I wouldn't wear one till we won the game, and obviously, you know, it didn't. It worked better than the pizza with Ranieri. What can I say? Reece and Clivo, good evening. I mean, look. 2-0 against Bristol City. We've got to be at least happy now, haven't we?
Well,
yeah,
I'm more happy. Yeah, sorry, Reece.
Go on. Yeah, I'd say so. I think it was a much improved performance. Still a lot to work on though in terms of defensively wise, but no, we caused them a lot of problems, and it was nice to see us actually create a lot more chances than we have been doing. So. But touch wood, we do the same tomorrow and get another 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, it all sort of counts for nothing, doesn't it, Clibo, if we don't get anything tomorrow?
Yeah, I think Reece is right. There are still frailties, but I think overall there was. I wouldn't say it was a 90-minute performance, but I think the performance was, more than a 45-minute performance. I think we're going to have to play a little bit more consistent throughout the game against QPR, though. I really do think that that's going to present us with a tougher challenge than Bristol.
I mean, Bristol, from looking at where they are, they've had a hell of a decent season, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. But I can't remember who said it, but somebody said that they're kind of like on the beach. They're in that sort of purgatory, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Whereas QPR, they're getting dragged in a little bit. So their results recently have been pretty poor. So they're coming here with something to prove.
Yes, yeah. Say hello to a few people that have joined us early on in the chat. Ronald's in. Hi, Ronald. How you doing? As is Craig. Ben is in, and he says Christo drinks us. Now I'm just happy that we've actually found out how to win a game, even with Jordan Ayew up front. So I'd mention that, Clibo.
Yeah, I'm going to try not to mention his name too much tonight.
Well, I would expect nothing less of you. I mean, Reece, of recent weeks, when we have failed to win, sort of those teams around us have also failed to win. Or they've got a draw or they've lost, which has kind of kept us in it. Last night, well, not last night, but midweek, Tuesday, Wednesday, results didn't really go our way, did they?
No, they didn't. I think West Brom picked up a point, and I think Oxford got a very scrappy 1-0 win. And that just shows you that they are fighting. It's I think it's a three horse race now between who goes down between us, Oxford and West Brom. But I'm going to back the lads as much as I can to get us out of it. But I know we keep saying like, it's a good job they lost. We need to just focus on what we're doing, and that's improving our performances and getting 3 points on the board. And we can't we can't change fate. You know, we can't change Oxford or West Brom winning games or drawing or whatever. So let's just focus on ourselves and get our points on the board.
I mean, at the moment, we are in 21st. So as long as we carry on winning or doing better than those around us, we would stay up. I've got to say, Clippo, I did a show, as you know, on Wednesday night. And I was watching Oxford versus Blackburn Rovers, and the West Brom Southampton game was watched by Wayne. I mean, first of all, the West Brom game, I mean, they were unlucky. I mean, they conceded right towards the end, 94th minute or something like that. But, you know, that is the sort of problem they are having, you know, reminding me very much like, you know, sort of thing we like to do. But maybe that's the sort of form and performances that will keep West Brom down there.
Maybe, but, you know, we know that they have got quality in the squad, much like we have. It's a case of the right person needs to get it out of them, doesn't it? And so far, they haven't found the formula. But there's always that chance. I mean, I know it's late in the season, but there's always that chance it could click. And I don't quite agree with Reece that it's a 3-horse race. I think there are teams that potentially could get dragged because it changes very, very quickly, as we've seen.
Yeah. No, I would agree with you on that. And do you think, before we get on to the next game, do you think that West Brom sticking with the manager they've got? I was surprised, to be honest with you, but they've stuck with him. And that might just work in our favour because, again, another manager coming in, giving them a bit of a boost, they may have won that game the other night.
Maybe, but go on, Reece. Sorry.
I was going to say, I'm leaning towards the more financial side of that because they've had this will be their third manager this season. You know, if they go and appoint a third manager, that will go really against their PSR, as we've seen with other clubs, you know. So maybe they can't afford to get another manager and they're being forced to stick with James Morrison. But I don't think it's the worst thing they could do. He's a West Brom lad. He's not a legend, but he was there for a long time, so he knows the club. He's been there a while, so. You know, I don't think that will work against them, sort of thing, because he'll get the passion installed in the players, and we've seen that they've got a few results lately. So, no. But on the financial side of that, I do think that'll be more PSR related. I think.
Good point. Thing is, though, Clibbo, I honestly think that you know the sticking with a player just because he is somebody, or a manager, that's because he's been a player. Look, it didn't work for Gary Ainsworth at QPR. They sacked him because they were awful with him. Let's hope that doesn't apply with Rowett, of course. But, you know, Rowett's had a bit of experience. He's been around the block, you know, as a manager. But, no, I think West Brom, I think, obviously, we know Southampton, they will be kicking themselves because apparently they were absolutely rubbish and West Brom dominated.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, Southampton have been a bit Jekyll and Hyde, haven't they, all season? And I think the dominant teams are the two in the title race. You know, the ones. I mean, I think it's been me personally. I think it's been, in terms of quality, one of the, if not the poorest championship I've ever seen, and that's largely down to consistency with teams. Yes, you could argue it makes it exciting for the neutral, although I would find it difficult to find anybody that would say that any of these games are exactly exciting. But I mean, maybe I'm just being spoiled. I've watched Premier League Leicester for the past, decade.
Yeah. But I know what you said. But Reece, I mean, I watched the Oxford Blackburn game. Now you say it was scrappy, but I've got to say Oxford fought for every ball. Blackburn, I am putting definitely. I'm going to disagree with you here, Reece, because Blackburn are definitely 100% in that category of being in that battle. They were absolutely awful. They turned up for about 20 minutes, the last 10 and the first 10 of the two halves. They're supposed to have, this manager's gone in, Michael O'Neill. Obviously, as we know, he does, what's he called, as Northern Ireland as well. But he's going to be away for a week. And I know, this is about it's international week. But when your manager's not there instilling in them what he wants to do, that I think that will backfire on them. But Blackburn absolutely disappointed me. And I would put, if I was a betting man, I would put a pound on the Dalai Lama. Tibetan man? Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I pinched that one. That's not one of mine. I would say that Oxford are going to stay up.
No, I don't think they've got enough quality. Yes, they've got a lot of fight. They've probably got more fight combined than us and West Brom and Blackburn, but that's because they're playing for a championship contract still. Whereas we have got players on Premier League contracts, so they're not really going to give more of a shit than Oxford players are. They're not big time Charlies, and we've got some big ego, big time Charlies in our squad, sort of thing. So, no, I don't.
Sorry, I froze then. Sorry. What I was going to say was, do you think at this stage of the season, in where we are, it's quality? You don't want quality; you want battlers.
Well, no, you need quality, or else how are you going to score goals? So quality is needed, but obviously you got to have. I've always had this thing: if you're better than the other team and you work as hard as them, you'll win the game because you've got better players than them. I've always stood by that. And funny enough, one of Uncle Clibo's favourite players, Graham Souness, said that quote. So I do believe in that. So yeah, if you've got a better squad, which I do believe we have got a better squad than Oxford, if we fight as hard as them, we'll win the game because we've got better players. So yes, you do need quality in these certain situations because how you're going to score goals and how you're going to defend and make great through balls and stuff like that. Because of course you need quality, Chris.
But Clibo, we've got quality allegedly. Everybody keeps telling me we've got quality players. So what the hell are we doing down there? What we haven't got is battlers. And I'm not saying that you don't need some quality. Of course you do. But I would sooner have 11 battlers out there that are going to fight for the badge and not give up.
Yeah, I think, you see, this is the difference between the sort of EFL and the Premier League. In the Premier League, you need quality. And it's a little bit more of a chess game.
Yeah.
And so our players have predominantly been playing in that type of situation. To come down to the Championship where it's kind of, sort of 50% fight, 50% quality, if you want to put it like that. They've just not liked it up them, if that, for want of a better phrase. Whereas players like Oxford, that's their bread and butter, is fighting. Because if you haven't got quality, you have to sort of make up the fact with something else. And fighting spirit in this league, for me, is massively important. We've seen the Premier League; there's quality throughout.
Yeah. Right. Let's get on to this game, and we're going to have a look at sort of the games that are coming up as well. But obviously, we're going to concentrate on the QPR for a while. Reese, I don't know that you went, or I know Tibbo probably didn't, but I mean this. I know exactly. Was this as low as it got this season?
For me, yeah. I mean, I said after the Wrexham home game that Marty should have gone, but this was, embarrassing. I mean, to be 4-0 down at halftime. I mean, for me, to be 4-0 down at halftime to any team is embarrassing, let alone QPR. They absolutely destroyed us, and and we had no answer for it, really. And we had a good run. We picked up, I think, 7 points out of the last 3 games. So I thought, right, here we go. And then this just came back down, crashing back down to earth. So, no, it was an embarrassing performance, an embarrassing result, and a lot of Marty Cifuentes has to take a lot of the brunt here for that one for me. But he's gone now, so yeah.
I mean, look, that was Leicester of the time, wasn't it? 1-0 down after 2 minutes. Clibo.
Yeah, I was working at Doncaster Racecourse with this match, and I was watching it with a friend of mine who's a Leeds United fan, and I'm not saying I wanted to slap his head in, but I did, because he just gave it me for 90 minutes, and it was horrendous. I watched it in disbelief, to be honest with you, and I think we can all say after watching that one, we knew there was a serious problem. But I think me and Reece had called it way before that.
I mean, you look at that, Reece, and you think, well, hang on, it wasn't so long ago that Marty was managing these guys. If you want inside information, when a player comes over from another team and you play that team, he can give you some. But surely, as the manager, I mean, was this the point when you began to think this isn't going to work?
Well, like I said, for me personally, it was a lot sooner. But for a lot of people, especially on other few channels that I watch, that they returned a lot after this match. I think being 4-0 down, we've been 3-0 down at half time, but the manner that we were 4-0 down after half time in this game, I think for a lot of people are like, yeah, you're not gonna cut it, mate. So, but yeah, I mean, a lot of people have different opinions as to when it should have been cut off. As me and Uncle Clibbo said, the Wrexham game was for us, even though he said way before that he had his concerns. But yeah, it was a turning point for a lot of fans, and and the writing was on the wall for me from them.
I mean, just looking at that game, like you say, that was in December. Before that, we'd actually won 2 and drawn 1. When I actually look back, Clibbo, at this, the actual overall history of Marty's, if you want. I mean, at the start, and this is what's worrying me, because everybody's sort of going a little bit overboard a little bit, if you like, about how good Gary Rowett could be, etc., etc. But it's exactly what we were doing when we got Marty. I mean, in those first 10 or so games, 4, 5, 6, 11 games, we only lost 1.
We did, yeah, but if you think about it, in any season, the first 10, 12 games, that league, particularly the Championship, it's so all over the place. Teams are finding their feet, the results, you get strange results. So it was a bit of a strange period, but to be honest with you, we'd just come down from the Prem. We still had pretty quality players. I think the fans would expect at least that. And I certainly did at least expect that.
Do you remember, Clibbo? I mean, we know going into September, I think there was an international break possibly, but we went away to Oxford, drew 2-2. We hosted Coventry, and that was a 0-0. We went away to West Brom, that was 1-1. Then we went away to Wrexham, and that was 1-1. And people were actually moaning about the fact we've only got 4 draws. I mean, what we do for that now? It's funny how things change. But at that point, we didn't realise, obviously, how bad things were going to get.
Yeah, well, I don't know what you think, Reece, but I'm not sure that that's what I would want right now. I want 4 wins.
Well, yeah.
I don't want to go into games thinking we could get a draw out of this. I'm looking at my team, looking at the quality that's on there, and pitting it against any team in that division. And I'm saying, if we play to our strengths, we win this game against anyone, home or away. And I stand by it. It's just that we've not had the right chemistry, let's say, in terms of management structure to make that happen for whatever reason. So, no, I don't want 4 more draws. I want 4 more wins.
No, I'm not. I agree with what you're saying, Clibbo. And Reece, you go into every match saying, right, we need to win this. But under Marty, how many times would we say we need to win this and we lost it? Where, if you get a draw, it's better than what we were getting before, wasn't it? I mean, if you go back and go, a draw against Stoke, a draw against Middlesbrough, and a draw against Ipswich, against those 3 teams, that actually were not bad results. Well, especially as all 3 games were away.
Well, yeah, I could just echo what Uncle Clibo's just said there. If you're not in it to win it, then what are you a professional footballer for? So I can see where you're coming from, Chris, especially with the position when we do need as many points as we can. But
Yeah.
I like I say, I always go into every game, even if we're playing Real Madrid. Right, how can we win this? Can we get a result? Can we get a win from this game? How can we beat these? That's my sort of mentality. Whether people think that's arrogant or whatever, I don't really give a shit. That's my attitude. I want to win. I want my football club to win. We've proven in the past we can win big trophies. So why not keep up that mentality sort of thing? So yeah, I'm completely with Uncle Clibo there.
Yeah. It is right. I thought for a minute then I'd got the wrong info. I agree that you want to go in and win every game, but what I think the thing is about now is not losing games. That to me is slightly more important. But Clibo, looking at the games we've got coming up, look, we're at home to QPR, then we're away to Watford, then home to Preston, away to Sheffield Wednesday, home to Swansea, away to Portsmouth. And then obviously we've got Blackburn away on the last day. That to me is not a bad running if you look at how things had turned against Bristol. We've got Hull and we've got Millwall both at home. To me, those are the 2 games where we might not get anything. But I don't think we've got the worst running.
See, I think if the current trajectory continues, I think it needs to happen a little bit quicker. I'm sorry, but I would go into those 2 games thinking we can win this. We can win this. We've got a better team. I seriously.
Yeah.
Well, I don't get me wrong. We're not going to win all those games. It's not going to happen.
No.
But the fact is, we should be going into those games the mentality and expectation of winning. If we don't win, then we have to draw. I understand that, but the whole mentality has to change, because we've been going into games thinking, if we go 1 goal down, we can't claw this back. When in reality, the team is very capable of clawing it back and winning.
No, I wouldn't argue with that. But Reece, can you see where I'm coming from? That it's not the hardest running. I'm just saying that those 2 games, the Hull and the Millwall, are the hardest of what we've got. But I think when you look at that, in the position we're in, I'm looking at that and going, it's not a bad running.
No, it's not a bad running, because like I said, I've like me and Uncle Clibo have said before, on paper we have got as good a side as Hull and Millwall, and I think we have got better players than Hull and Millwall. I completely stand by that. We've just been managed poorly, and it's they've been managed properly. They've got a system where it suits their players, and they're up there in the league. And fair play to them; they deserve to be up there. But no, I'm going into all those games thinking, right, let's go and win these. But we ain't going to win them all. I'm not unrealistic. But yeah, I see where you're coming from. But again, we just need to focus on what we need to do and just go out there, hurt teams when we can, like we did the other night, and just try and score as many goals as we can, and get 3 points.
Those teams that I've mentioned on the run-in, most of them are in the bottom half. So rather that than us playing. I know we've got Hull and Millwall, but I wouldn't want to be playing too many top half teams. I'm just looking here. Obviously everybody knows about Opta, who do all the stats for the leagues and football leagues and what have you. And they have a thing that goes up and it changes sort of week in, week out. And it's got the current table, which is expected. Which is actual. So we're obviously 21st in that. They then have an expected table, which they do on the form. Now, on that, unfortunately, the expected table, they have got us down in 23rd position. But the predicted, they've got us in, they've got us 24th, 23rd, 20th position. So, they obviously can see something that's going on. But look, let's get ahead and let's have a look at the game that's coming up here. I mean, we've got QPR, who, like you say, walloped us, earlier in the season. But looking at this, and I've got it a little bit different this time, Clipper, because I know, last time there was a lot of stats and figures to look at. So I found this one on the BBC that's just a little bit simpler for us all to follow. Leicester in 21st. QPR, they're not out of it in 18th. I mean, if we win and they lose, they're going to be back in the fight. We've got 38 points. They've got 47. We scored 50. They scored 46. You know me, I do like a good stat. And I go straight to the one at the bottom there, which is points dropped from a winning position. We've dropped 23. They've dropped 5, Clibbo. That's something that is going to have to be obviously dealt with, isn't it?
It is, and it's already statistically that's already changed, hasn't it? If you're starting from a new era, we've dropped what? Well,
that's for the whole season. From being in a winning position, how many games have we gone on not to win? And for those, if we got those 23 points, we would be up there just above Wrexham in 6th place.
Yeah, absolutely. And had we not been deducted 6 points and all the rest of it, but like for me, the stats really start from when Rowett took over, because I think one thing that he will not be doing is, particularly given the situation we're in, is re-emphasizing these stats to the players, because he wants his, this is the line we've drawn. This is where we are now. So although, yes, I think if you look at that, it's rather depressing, really depressing, because 23 points, I mean, that means you've got to win all of those games, but 23 points, that's a long way up the table, isn't it? Considering where we are.
Yeah.
So there was something that was going wrong there, wasn't there? We were getting in the lead, but we couldn't hold on to the lead. And I think this is something that Rowett has identified. Like I said, I don't think he's got it totally right. And, the jury's still out, so to speak. He's still in his audition period. But I think that's something he's identified, holding on to a lead, shoring up at the back, and actually playing some nice, some nice play on the counter as well. Some nice triangles that were going on that we all thought, oh, this is going to be get your Mills and Boone book out, and but that's not been the case. It's not been boring to watch. I wouldn't say it's been boring to watch.
No. Now, I've got visions now, and anybody who hasn't seen this yet, but we saw before that Clibbo likes a red wine on Friday, and I've got visions of him sat there with his red wine and a Mills and Boone, just relaxing.
My silk kimono.
Yeah, exactly. With your dog at your feet, the fire on full blast.
Wade slippers, the lot.
Oh, that's got to be an image I've got to create. But look, I mean, Reece, a clean sheet we got against Bristol. You would hope with a manager that was a defender and assistant manager. Sorry, that's in my mind now. An assistant manager that's also was a defender. But then again, we had Ruder as a striker and we couldn't score a bloody goal under him. So, I mean, it looked, and when, as Clibbo said, we seem to clear the ball quicker. We seem to go, I know earlier on the show, Kate was saying she didn't think he was, but I actually think he was clearing the ball a lot quicker. We don't play out the back as much as we used to. We are we have to have learned to try and win those first balls, but we certainly are not playing out from the back, and which is we know so much has cost us. But again, I saw some nice little triangles of one-touch passing football against Bristol, especially down the left-hand side.
Yes, it is a lot more fluid, the attacking play. There are bits where our decision making is still very, very poor at times, especially on the wings. but it is a lot more fluid. It's a lot better. And looking at those stats, I can't see a clean sheet being kept tomorrow. I think it's going to be a very, very open game tomorrow. I think you're looking at a 3-2 maybe sort of game, or something like that. But if we win 3-2, I really couldn't give a shit, and I don't think the manager will either. But no, yes, it is a lot better. And yeah, I would agree with you. I do believe. Well, if we weren't clearing the ball any quicker, well, we kept a clean sheet. So I don't really agree with Kate on that, but that's her opinion. But no, the defending was a lot more solid, a lot more bodies thrown on the line, and that's what I want to see from now to the end of the season. And then hopefully in the new season we go again, look for a way to move forward, because I have a little inside info that Mr. Rowett is not going to be the manager next season, whether we stay up or go down. So there's a little, so it's going to be interesting.
Is Mourinho out of contract then?
Well, no, you don't want him.
Oh dear. Well, look, we're going to this game. QPR got a lot of injuries to players, which is no wish to be mean, but good. But this is the form going in. Now, when you look at this, Clibbo, I mean, we beat Bristol, drew with Ipswich, lost to Norwich, drew with Middlesbrough, drew with Stoke. So that's 6 points from the last 5 games. Queen's Park Rangers have won 1, and that was 4 games ago. Since then, they lost to Southampton, lost to Sheffield United, lost to Middlesbrough, and lost to Birmingham. When you look at that, I mean, I'm looking at it and going, well, all right, there were tough games that they lost. Teams that when they lost, they weren't sort of teams that are around the bottom. But then our draws were against top teams as well.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at that form guide, and then it can be, within 3 weeks, it could be completely turned upside down.
Yes, it can.
And that's the problem with this league. And I mean, like something you talked about earlier about the form, on paper and all the rest of it. But we all know that this league, I mean, you could look at these teams down there. If they lose a couple, they're dragged in, and all of a sudden that emergency button gets pressed, and they're now the toughest games. So they might look easier now, but some of these players, they're not on 50 grand a week, and if they go down to League One, they're looking at 5 grand a week. They're playing to feed their families. They're not playing. They're not playing for a Porsche.
Well, I don't know, 5 grand a week. We'd all take that, wouldn't we? But I don't know. You're pretty much on that anyway, Clibbo. But the rest of us poor mere mortals would kill for that. I wondered how you could afford red wine, and your silk kimono. But really, having seen the game against Bristol and seen that form table, and I know I'm probably, risking fate here, but I do feel confident going into this game tomorrow. And it's not, I mean, I know I predicted a loss to Bristol. That was purely the AU effect. But it was. But no wonder I'm such a fat bastard. I've eaten so much humble pie this season. But look, I do feel confident going on. I will be predicting a win tomorrow, as long as he doesn't pick AU again.
Yeah, I don't think he will pick IU, so I think you might be all right there, Chris. And the thing that's giving me a little bit more confidence is in the last 5 games, they've conceded 13 goals. We've conceded 6 goals in the last 5 games. So it's a bit of a plus, but I know stats don't mean fuck all in football when you're down the bottom or anything like that. But, they haven't scored in their last 4 games either. So hopefully that can continue tomorrow. And, and it just shows they've got a lot of weaknesses, 5-0 to Southampton and 4-0 at home to, I think that's Middlesbrough. So there's a lot of poor results in there, but they have got players that can hurt us. So we just need to be mindful of that. But yeah, I'm a bit more confident. I'm actually looking forward to going to the game tomorrow and, go to the protest first and then go on and support the team for 90 minutes. So yeah, that will be a good, hopefully good good start to my weekend.
I haven't seen that. Is there another protest tomorrow?
There is, yes. There's another one at 2:00 tomorrow by the same people. So I will be attending that.
Doing the same route.
Just remember, support the team, not the regime.
Yeah. Oh, very good. He's a poet and he doesn't know it. Is it the same route and everything?
Yes, it is. Yeah, same starting point, but hopefully we get a few more turn up this time and really push these parasites out of the club. But let's put that aside and let's just focus on the game tonight.
Interestingly, though, I'd love something to happen, but I think when you look, I mean, the bit I saw about the protest last time was the fact that you were outside the stadium chanting Rudkin out, and then within 48 hours he'd had a promotion. So I mean, that's the sort of thing, you know. But no, that as you say, and Clibbo, what you were saying about the league this season, Southampton beating QPR 5-0. They struggled to get a point against West Brom the other night, Wednesday night. They were lethargic. They were slow, and they got a goal. I said 94th or something minute. They did us a favour, but it was not the Southampton that put 5 past QPR. It is such a difficult league, isn't it, to predict and work out?
It is. I mean, I think you have to take your hat off to Lampard. He's got a team really, really playing, and their dip, which inevitably happens with every team, he got them through it. And really, the only teams that do well in this league are teams that are consistent, and you tend to find that they go on long runs. But everybody else, I mean, even Ipswich, I thought Ipswich would actually get right up until recently, I thought Ipswich should get top 2, but they're starting to falter. They've not been. I mean, they had a poor start to the season, which has cost them. Yeah. But everybody else really are much of a muchness, aren't they? It's very difficult. I mean, I should imagine if you look at your predictions throughout the season, rarely have you can't say that you've been more than 50% right, because it's so difficult to predict. I mean, you could look at Oxford versus Coventry, for instance. If that was tomorrow, you'd say Coventry win. But if they didn't win, it wouldn't be a huge shock, would it? If Oxford won.
No. I mean, the Middlesbrough and Coventry have both had bad runs as well. I want to, before we look at the table itself, so I'm going to try for this is the form table. So this is based on the last 5 games. We're actually 14th based on the last 5 games. And when you look at the teams around us, Preston North End, they're not around us, but they're bottom. Sheffield Wednesday are actually above them, goal difference. Then QPR on form, Reese, are in 22nd. West Brom in 20th, Blackburn in 19th, Portsmouth in 18th. And then we're there, say, in 14th. Oxford, I think, are the ones that aren't on there. But Queen's Park Rangers, they've won 1, like we've just said, in 4. They're on a -10 goal difference. You've got to feel, I mean, and us going on the back of that win, our tails have got to be up, haven't they?
Yeah, we should be rubbing our hands tomorrow with that. 3 goals in the last 5 games scored by them, 13 conceded. We should be rubbing our hands together going, right, let's go and put these to the sword and, because they'll be feeling nervous for this game, they will. They'll be feeling nervous. There'll be a lot of pressure on them this game. So, let's go out there and, push them from the front and, push them back and really, really stick it on them because, players like Abdul and Mikasa, Dakar, JJ, they should be all raring to go. And I think, right, come on, let's fucking have these now, and stuff like that. So, but let's hope that we have got our tails up and we push on and try and get as many goals as we can.
We've said so many times, Clibbo, and look, we're in agreement on this, the best form of defence is attack. But I just think that if we still had Marty in charge for tomorrow, that we would go out there more trying not to lose where Gary Rowett will be actually trying to get us to win.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the game plan for tomorrow should be get a goal as early as possible, because unlike Bristol, when they went behind, if they lost, it wasn't the end of the world. And I know that sounds a bit backwards, from a professional pride standpoint.
They're not going anywhere, are they, basically, Bristol?
Yeah, QPR, if they lose again, they will start to think we're going to get dragged into this. So if we can get a goal early, force them to play, providing we can remain solid at the back, I think we can pick them off. 2 or 3 goals, because they'll definitely leave gaps if we have to force them out. But I think that's the idea. I think that's what he'll be looking for tomorrow, which is why I think he'll play.
I think am I back?
More of an attacking team as opposed to. I don't think he'll play well. If we're going to pick teams or go through the teams later, I won't say, but I don't think he'll pick the same lineup this time round.
No. But I'd just like to say, QPR, they've got to be looking over their shoulders. You'd think a few weeks ago they'd have probably felt they were safe. But like I say, 47 points now. Portsmouth are 7 points behind. We're 9 points behind. And, if anybody, and as are Oxford and Blackburn, one less. But if any of us guys start to put a run together, Queen's Park Rangers and even Charlton and Stoke aren't 100% out of it, to be honest. I think Stoke are going to be safe, but they could very easily be drawn in. And I have to say, Sheffield Wednesday fans, I mean, I feel for you. We're moaning about us, and look at how many points they've had deducted, and they could get another 15 points next season to start their season off. They're just, talk about kicking clubs when they're down. There's nobody who does it
It's
quite
ridiculous.
like football authority, is there? But let's have a look at some stats here then. Leicester have lost 4 of their last 8 home league games against QPR, won 3, drawn 1, including the Hoops' most recent trip to the King Power in March. QPR were looking for a league double over Leicester for the first time since the 2010-11 campaign, when they won the Championship title under Neil Warnock. Leicester have lost their last 5 home league games against London teams by an aggregate score of 12-0, winning in December 2024 in a 3-1 win against West Ham. And QPR have won just 2 of their last 21 away league games that have kicked off at 3 p.m. on a Saturday, drawn 7, lost 12. And it just, there's nothing there that I think, this is putting on the party. There's nothing there that particularly scares me so much.
Yeah. We've always had a bit of 50-50 with QPR, and there's always been a lot of goals involved in the games as well. So, I'd like for it to continue, but hopefully it goes in our favour tomorrow. I'm always up for an exciting game of football, and but yeah, hopefully we'll see. But as long as we get the 3 points, that's all that matters tomorrow. 3 points, push ourselves further up the table.
Yeah. And Clibbo, Leicester manager Gary Rowett has won just 2. What are you doing there, Clibbo?
All my devices have batteries are running down at the same time, so I'm just plugging everything in.
That's all right. Leicester manager Gary Rowett has won just 2 of his last 12 league games against QPR, drawn 5, lost 5, and is winless in 3. Drawn 1, lost 2. So it's a good time for him to change that, isn't it?
Well, yeah, completely different scenario. He's got a different team. He's got plenty of experience losing against them, so he should know how to correct that. Like I say, I think what he'll do is he'll go out and attack tomorrow, with an element of caution, obviously. But I think we'll start with a very strong lineup tomorrow, and I think he'll go at them early.
Yes. Look, I hate this where, if a player's coming back from injury, stick him on at the start if he's your better choice, and then take him off at half time or whenever if his legs are going or whatever. Don't save them and bring them on, in the last third, because you could be losing by then, and then you're trying to get back into the game. I've never understood that. We surely should always just start with your strongest team, shouldn't you?
Yeah, I hate this. They're fit enough to be on the bench. It's a load of bollocks. It's absolute woke nonsense. That, if they're fit enough to be on the bench, they're fit enough to start for at least 55, 60 minutes. Go out, for me, that's where I agree with you, Chris. Like, if they're not fit enough for the 90, but let's push for 55, 60 minutes with this player. Then we'll take him off, and then he can have his rest and all of that, and try and get the game at one early, like get a head start early, and then you can bring on, let's say, a Winks or somebody of that ilk to control the midfield more. So, from what I'm hearing, JJ is looking a lot sharper in training. So, touch wood, he keeps that up. But I agree, Chris.
Reading today, Clibbo, and I think you might agree with me on this. I think we should set Reece a challenge here. Because it said here, Leicester fan loses beard after Fox's clean sheet. Do you think that Reece, should we stay up at the end of the season? Do you think Reece should get rid of his beard and moustache? What do you think, Clibbo?
The thing is, Reece is so hairy, he could shave that off tonight and it'd be back tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's got his back looks like the apes at Twycross Zoo. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Reece,
it wouldn't be much of a challenge.
You have my sympathy, mate, because I'm exactly the same.
Yeah.
Apparently, it runs in the family. My mother was covered in hair. But anyway, the good news is, of course, I don't know if you saw that today, of course, Opoku has got an extension to his contract.
Oh, Nathan Opoku.
Yeah. The Opoku.
Yeah, and also...
I think you've got to include poo in there somewhere in his name.
Well, it's also good... Well, I think that's down to one or two things. One, and I've got a bit of inside info on this, with the Kevon... Because Kevon Gray, he extended yesterday.
Yeah, them as well.
My understanding is that the new sporting director really pushed that, so that probably shows the route that he's going with. Get the kids through from the academy, get them playing a lot more, get their value up, and then obviously sell them on. With Nathan Opoku, he's 23 now, so he should be really hitting the first team at that age. So, but maybe it's to get him to get a little bit of cash for when we eventually sell him. Maybe even if it's 500k, it's still towards PSR. So, but he's doing all right at Newport. He's scoring a few goals. So, let's hope he gets an opportunity to show what he can do.
But we signed him, Clibbo, in January 2023 from Syracuse. He's not played one game for us in anger. No,
I mean, the opportunities for him to play have been sort of lacking, in fairness. He's playing at Newport, who are second bottom, I think, in a pretty poor squad that are not scoring many goals or creating many chances. So it's difficult to judge him. But what we've got to do is, if this new sporting director's come in, we've got to trust that he's doing it for the better of the club. You never know. He might be our starting striker next season with the way things are going.
Well, I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? I mean, could he do any worse than AU? No.
No, I agree.
The three of us could put our boots on and not do worse than AU. I'm not saying we'd be any better. But yeah, you're quite right, they're 23rd. And it's certainly he's not gone on that and made that decision on form or seen him play or anything like that. I think, as Reece said, it's got to be purely financial, because he's not been here long enough to judge him. And he's not even seen him anyway, because he's at Newport County. Yeah. Bless you. Right. Well, let's have a talk about the team tomorrow then. Now, normally I ask you two guys to come up with your teams, but that was whilst Kate was in South America enjoying a holiday. Apparently, it wasn't quite as bad as Top Gear when they went, but she's back. So she does a show. We do it. Or Deborah saw us earlier 1:30 usually on a Friday. She picks her starting 11 based on the 4-2-3-1, unless he changes his ways. So she goes for it. We do that show, and then I'll bring you up on this one, and then you guys can either agree with her or disagree. Let me just bring it up. There we go. So this is the team that she's gone for, and I've got to say she hadn't realised, because she's only been back, like I say, less than a week. She said if Begovic is fit, she would want Begovic. She still is not happy with Jakub. Now, I've got to say, again, more humble pie for me, because I was pretty much feeling that before Reese, but Jakub he's been all right in his lane since he came on very last minute, obviously, to replace Begovic. And he seems to be commanding his box more. He's shouting at his back four. It didn't actually, a bit of confusion with Nelson, but it was his fault he dropped it, Jakub. But I'm liking what I'm seeing with Jakub.
And this is exactly what I said a couple of weeks ago. He needs an arm round him. Yes, Begovic got injured, and that's probably why he got his break with Rowett to come into the team. But he needs an arm round him to say, right, our main keeper's injured. Right, let's sort this out. Let's work on and he's kept it simple. He's gone long. He's played out from the back only when it is possible. I thought he was outstanding against Ipswich. Made some fantastic saves and kept us in that game for a long period of time. Could he done better with their goal? Potentially. It's his near post. He should be really saving that. But the thing that I was really happy for, and hopefully will give him a big boost of confidence, is that penalty save the other night. Because he'll look back, fucking get in there, and he'll be happy that he'll be the goalkeeper that's got the clean sheet out of the three goalkeepers that we've got. So hopefully that'll give him a little bit of boost, and I'm more than happy for him to continue, because I've always said he's a good goalkeeper. He needs coaching right. And Rowett's kept it really simple with him. You go long, you command your box, and you shout at your defence and all of that malarkey. So yeah, I'm more than happy for him to keep his position in goal. If it's not broken, don't change it. Don't change it.
Would you agree with that, Clibbo?
Yeah, I would. I think the thing is with Jakub, over the sort of previous times he's been in goal, you could see the stress in his face and the nervousness. And something I've noticed over the last few games is that if he makes a mistake, he gets over it quicker. He doesn't look nervous. And yeah, you're right. He's commanding his box. I don't even think if Begovic is back now, it would be worth changing it, because I don't think, and I like Begovic, I think he's a good goalkeeper, but I just don't think we can ill afford any disruption now, and it's a really important position.
That's what I was going to say, because, and we'll come on to the back four in a minute, but we've always said about having a settled back four, but really it's a settled back five, isn't it? Because, the back four got to know the guy behind them, what he's going to be doing, and he's got to know what the guy in the four in front. So keep swapping it. Do you remember in England we had Ray Clements and Peter Shilton, who were both top of the four at the same time?
Two of my favourites of all time.
Yeah, and we were swapping goalkeepers every game, weren't we?
Well, you imagine how many caps Shilton would have got if I mean, he was already the record holder, but I think what did Clements got about 63 caps, I think. So
yeah,
but why not? I mean, in that situation, you had two world-class goalkeepers. So there's the difference. They were both world-class.
They were. I mean, Reece, it shows me that it was Marty that was telling Jakub to play out from the back.
Yeah, it was.
And like, we have a problem, and I think I said earlier, maybe we've got to sort of work on getting to the first balls all the time. But at least if we lose it, it's in their fucking half, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather lose the ball, in their half than in our own half, because we, I thought playing out from the back the other night, it was better. It was still, not. weren't great still, but it was better than what it has been. It does help that you've got a composed centre back and with Ben Nelson on the ball. I thought Coley's passing was a little bit better the other night as well. But no, like I said, Rowett's not going to be one to implement a style. He's going to say, right, just keep it simple. Just stop the ball going in the net. Kick it long when you have to. You can play out when you have to. Be flexible and throw the other team off. And it's up to the players at the other end of the pitch to win the ball and keep the ball up there.
Indeed.
I think you're right, Reece. I think what he's done is said to the centre backs, don't make unnecessary passes. Whereas what you were looking with Marty, I mean, Marty had a really, really excellent ball playing centre back, didn't he, in Vestergaard? So, but if you looked at some of Vestergaard's passes, they were risky, and if they'd have gone wrong, you're in trouble. But 9 times out of 10, he played them, and I think the back line, all of the back line were trying to do that. And a Coley, I mean, Christ, do you remember that game against Birmingham, Reece? A Coley, oh Christ!
Oh my, yes, I do. Yeah,
I mean,
the one where you came to where we won 2-0.
It weren't. Yeah, was it 2-0?
What, Birmingham at home this season?
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was because Fatua scored, didn't he?
Yeah, Fatua and Ricardo scored off the bench.
Yeah, and his passing was just so bad. I mean, we was it the second half? I can't remember which half it was, but where we were behind the goal, and you could just see, his vision was awful for pass. He just couldn't pass. And I think what Rowett has actually said is look, if there's a simple pass on, make the simple pass. And again, I think was it Nigel Clough said, I mean, he said some quotes in his time, but I think one of them was, the games are not difficult. It's not played in the sky. Keep it very simple.
Nigel
and I think
Brian Clough.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, football is simple. Managers are making it complicated.
Yeah. No, indeed. Right, moving on to the back four. Glibbo, she's brought Ricardo back in. Funnily enough, the guy that couldn't play 2 games in a week has suddenly played 4 in 3 weeks. Would you have had him there, or would you have brought Hamza back in, or would you, Aluko? What would you have done for that right back position?
Well, he's not going to play Aluko. We know that. So it only leaves those 2. I think they're interchangeable, but then you're disrupting a back 4. I understand why Kate's picked him. In terms of skill levels, he's better. He probably does progress the ball better than Hamza. But we're going to be up against a very physical side tomorrow that will bully him. And that's why I wouldn't pick him tomorrow. He's made of glass. And I still don't think he can play 2 games a week.
Yes. Yeah, and I remember Ricardo. I watched the game on my tablet, and he got absolutely ripped to pieces by that left winger that they had. Hamza, straight away, like he did the other night, sliding tackle. You ain't fucking getting near me, son. And that's what we need tomorrow. And I think Hamza's more of a safer option than Ricardo at the minute. And I thought it worked well with Hamza coming off, then Ricardo coming on and changing it up a bit, be a bit more progressive on the ball. So yeah, I would 100% go with Hamza tomorrow. Hamza's going to be crucial for these last few games.
And you would go Hamza as well, Clibbo?
I would, yeah, for this game.
2 centre-backs. I mean, Vestergaard's back on the grass, and like I said earlier, hopefully that means he's training and not smoking weed. But again, would you stick with the 2 that are there?
Yeah, I would.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, I think again. I mean, a Coley, there's a mistake in him, isn't there? I think, but pick me a defender that hasn't got a mistake in him.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the thing, and I think Nelson. Look, the thing with Nelson is as well. Rowett knows Nelson. You know, he had
Yes,
him.
he
At
does.
Yes, yeah, he knows him from Oxford. Yeah, and he said he's a Premier League player. He's a Premier
Yeah.
League player waiting to happen. You know, and that's an old defender who's got good record in the game. Saying that about one of our players. So and I'm looking forward to getting onto the left back here because I've got a very very high opinion in a minute.
Well, God, do you have an opinion? God help us! let me go and get
I
me
think you
on.
might agree with me here. I think Uncle Clibo's going to agree with me here, but yeah.
I have a feeling I might know where you're going. Clibo, left back.
It's Thomas all day long. I think he's been again. The game's been simplified for him. I still think he's a better wing back, and I think the attributes that he's shown over the last few games, bear that out. His crossing ability and he was one of our more forward players of recently. But that obviously was Steffi, although his quality's been shit. He has put in more of a shift, which has enabled Thomas to do that. So, give him his cards for that. But you have to say Luke Thomas. And I think in general, try not to disrupt the back two and back four if possible, wherever possible.
Yeah. Right, let's skip over to Reese. And Reese, your choice for left back.
I think it is Luke Thomas. I'm sticking with him. I think in the 5 games that Rowett's been here, I think he's been our most improved player. I think defensively he's improved. I think his crosses have gotten better. And I think he's just done his job really, really well. I genuinely think he's been our most improved player under Rowett. I really do. I think he's helped him. I think he's put his arm around him and say, right, you're just going to stick to your job and, clear it when you need to. Stick your butt, with your throw-ins. He's done a lot of work on those throw-ins. They seem
a
to
lot
be going
better. A lot better.
Yes, they are. Yeah, and no, I'm going to give him his full props. I think he's our most improved player under Rowett so far. No question.
I expected you, I've got to say, to be picking a different player. Which I thought you were going to put Skip there.
No. Keep going.
No.
Keep. Let's get off his back. He's been really, really good, especially the last 3 games. He done well at Ipswich under a lot of pressure. And I thought the other night, he was excellent. I thought his balls in was superb. His throw-ins were good, and I thought he'd done his job really, really well. So let him keep doing that job. Just let him play his football, and get off.
He's not got a bad free kick on him either, has he, Reece?
Best set piece taker at that club.
Best
set piece taker at the club, no doubt in my mind.
As we know, he got the assist for Daka against Ipswich.
He did. That was a superb cross, by the way. That's one of the best crosses this season I've seen.
I'm surprised, but I wouldn't argue with either of you. Like I said at the start, you would hope with a manager and assistant manager that have both been defenders, that is, and we know that the defence was the thing that any new manager coming in, we said before, has to concentrate on. And if they can't get the best out of Luke Thomas, who's going to? But then again, you look at Ruud van Nistelrooy. He got 10 in a row, and we couldn't score a goal under him. But you would hope he can. But yeah, I mean, wow, that's praise indeed, Reece. Praise indeed. Middle two, Clibo. I never thought this. I would hear Kate utter those words. It was a hard choice to drop Harry Winks. But just shows how some of these players have changed under Rowett, because Winks has been playing okay, but I think you've got to bring Jordan James back, even if it's not for full 90. I have a feeling he'll start with Winks, but if you bring in Jordan James back, do you drop Winks or do you drop Skip?
No, Winks. I think anything that happens, nice play, nice patterns, is allowed by the fact that Skip is so industrious and breaks play up, and it's allowing the some people are workers, some people are performers, and he's a worker, and you can't perform without a worker. It's as simple as that. He's so important to that team right now, and how they are going to go forward to potentially stay up. Winks, In terms of James Winks, I think they're going to be alternating. I think what they want is James to be fit. Obviously, he's wanting to be here. We know Winks doesn't want to be here particularly, although in the last few games, he's managed to crack a smile and play quite well and direct on the field. So if we're taking that Winks and this Jordan, I've got a feeling he might start Winks tomorrow and bring Jordan on. But me personally, that's the midfield I would go with. Get as much as you can out of Jordan. Winks is a pretty good option to bring on.
I can't believe I'm going to say this again, but I agree 100% with you, Clibbo. I think he will start with Winks, but I would prefer to see James start and Skip. Look, I've been a Skip fan longer than anybody else has. I went from when we signed him, but I don't like to keep mentioning that, but I just do drop that in every now.
You cannot in this game, the magnitude of this game, you cannot start with Harry Winks, and I'll tell you why. We are going to have to press them from the front, and Jordan James has got a lot more energy, even at 60, 70, 80% fit, more than Harry Winks has. We're going to need to push them and push and push, and you need to start with JJ. Get 60 minutes out of him like we did the other night. And if you noticed, Skip was more the single pivot in that midfield, and JJ pushed up a lot further and played as like right attacking midfielder alongside Bobby. It was more of a 4-3-3 or a 4-1-4-1. So
it was a 4-3-3.
Yeah, 4-3-3. Yeah,
4-4-3.
Yeah. But you cannot start Winks in this game purely because we're going to need to push them from the off, and you're not going to get that with Winks. You're going to get that from JJ.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I mean, we've all gone for James and Skip. We agree with Kate there, but I just have a feeling, and I enjoyed it, so I might have another one. But I'd have a feeling that Rowett might just pick Winks. But as Ronald says there, Skip and JJ, they do play well together. I think they both understand their roles. Sorry. I want to take the next three. I want to split it down and start with Mukasa. This was the other reason I went for Bristol win, because to me, Mukasa has been one of the outstanding. I mean, it's sad that, when we talk about outstanding players, we're talking about JJ and we're talking about Mukasa. People that are, players that are lone players. But I could not believe when he started with Dakova Reed in that number 10. And look, I like Dakova Reed in that number 10. That's his role. Not on the wing. Please never put him on the wing. He's not got the legs for that anymore. But again, because we need to go at them from the start, I couldn't believe he dropped Mukasa, who had been, in the last previous probably 4 games, 2 of those, he'd been my man of the match.
Yeah, I mean, I heard your conversation earlier with Kate, and I'm not quite sure I agreed with her. I get in some ways what she was saying about his work rate, but in terms of what he gives you over and above that, it's far more effective than, let's say, Bobby having a great game with lots of work rate. It's still more effective. And I think at this stage, it's not like a sulker, is he? It's not like he gives up and just can't be bothered like we've seen Fatua do and Mavadine. It's more of, he's just not being able to get involved. I don't think it's can't be bothered, not working hard enough. So I slightly disagree with her there. And for that reason, he has to start, because Bobby is a 1 in 3 game player right now. Nice guy, honest pro from what I hear. He's fantastic around the club and the players. But at this stage, we need quality at that end of the pitch.
Spot on.
I mean, he's good to have as a backup. I mean, it'd be nice to have Ramsey fit as well, but I mean, why the hell we've kept him and we're still paying his loan wages, I do not know.
It's disgusting.
But,
disgusting.
Yeah, it is.
It's really bad. It's really bad. And I'm surprised that Burnley allowed.
Just quickly on Mukasa again with JJ, with how we're going to play tomorrow. He's got the energy. and the quality that we're going to need in the first half, especially in the first half against QPR, where we're going to need, lots of little magical moments. And he has got a lot of quality on the ball, a lot of quality. So, and, I think Bobby's a better finisher. I think he's a better finisher. But in terms of through balls, dribbling, both feet, you need Mikasa starting. I think if we're winning or if we're drawing a game, I think Bobby could get us a late goal or see out the match. Because he does work hard, Bobby. He does work hard. But for what we need in this game, Mikasa has to start.
Yeah. No, again, I love Bobby as in that number 10, and I'd have him on the bench every day of the week and twice on a Sunday in case, he gets injured. But the other two guys, Fatawu and Mavididi, we all know they've not had the best of seasons between them, and they're certainly the season not as good as when they were last in this league when, they both joined us. They were outstanding. But again, Steffi was unlucky not to score when he hit the post against. I mean, it was nice to see Fatu actually pass the ball, and that from that position. And of course, Fatu scored a goal as well. Again, are you seeing improvements, Reese, with those two? And then again, would you start them, or who would you start in their place? And then obviously, same with you, Clippo.
I'm one of those that if it's not broken, don't fix it. So I would be contradicting myself if I say, right, let's take Steffi out of the team or let's take Abdul out of the team. They're on the winning side, and you have to keep that momentum going. Because if you drop one of them after a win, then it's just going to drop their confidence even more. I've seen a lot more improvement in terms of work rate, especially from Mavididi on that left-hand side in terms of tracking back and helping Thomas out. Abdul's improving in that department as well. So, no, I'm more than happy for them to stick. But Mavididi has to step up tomorrow and show why he is still, for me, one of the better wingers in this league because he has got quality.
And do you think Luke Thomas's improvement is because Steph is improving in that department?
A little bit, but I think Thomas has improved a lot himself. But I see where you're coming from. Yeah, a little bit. I think it has helped Thomas, but I just think Thomas has been really, really improved. And his positional play is a lot better as well. But yeah, Mavididi has helped with that as well, with with doubling up on the winger and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I would agree with you. Yeah.
Clibo, your thoughts on that? Would you have picked those two?
I would. Thing is with Fatwa this season, he had. Let's be honest. He was just behind Skip for me for man of the match last game out. He played really well. Slightly greedy at times, but hey, wants to put the ball in the net. So I can't really have too much of a go at him for that. But it wouldn't surprise me tomorrow if he has an absolutely crap game where he just can't be bothered. And that's been my issue with him all season. We don't have anybody better on the right side. So I think you've got to play him. I would play Mavididi because I think he's learning to support Luke Thomas. I don't think he's up to much going forward. He doesn't make things happen for himself. Whereas when we were playing under Enzo, I think he was a bit more of a risk taker, calculated risks, but he was dangerous. This season, he just seems to have lost all of that spark. Whether it's because that was his level, peaked, and he's on the way down, I don't know. But he just doesn't seem, he hasn't got that fire. But because he's supporting Luke Thomas and allowing Luke Thomas to improve, get forward in waves, I think you have to play him. You have to.
Yeah, and up front, the lead into the show, Clibo, was would AU be picked? I don't get why AU's being picked. I really, really don't. And if he picks AU tomorrow, then I'm just going to give up. I really, really am. Because we need to attack, and AO just offers us absolutely nothing.
No, you're right. You're right. And again, even if like we picked him the other day and we won the game, I'm still fuming that he got picked. There's just, for me, And I've heard people say, "Well, he had one of his better games." Really?
Really? No, he didn't.
What are you watching? Because what they're comparing it to, I don't know. Because for me, he was useless and offered nothing. And there's kids that could do what he was doing. There's kids in the youth squads that could do what he does. Fall over, holds the ball up a little bit, passes it backwards. There's kids that can do that. So for me, I mean, did you see him walking off the pitch? He looked like he'd shit himself again. It looked like he'd shit down his drawers.
Yeah.
And this is a professional footballer. You know, when you watch somebody who's bow-legged walk, like they've come back and played a veterans game. That's what he looks like. I mean, I've got to say, he's probably a really nice guy, but there's not a footballer there for me. I don't see what he does.
Did you know he is the most capped African player in Premier League history?
No.
It doesn't surprise me because back in the day, he probably was half decent.
He's played for 4 Premier League clubs. He's played for 4 teams in the Premier League.
Yeah, well, like I say,
he's had, you know, he was younger then, wasn't he, as well? So, Tibbo, are you going for Daka or are you going
100%,
for Richards?
100%.
Are you going to go for Daka?
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
Reese, you're nodding your head.
Yes, 100%. Again, we need energy up front especially in the first half. We need to push them as much as we can, and Patson will do that. You know, obviously, question marks about him as an actual finishing striker, but I thought he took his goal really well against Ipswich. He'll have a bit more confidence again. I think Rowett's put his arm around him and say, right, look, you do this really well, stick to it. So yeah, again, we need to push these as hard as we can in that first half. Really put them under the cosh. And I think Patson's the perfect striker to do that. So I think he's a must start tomorrow. He's a must start.
I worry about you more and more and more. I get to know you, Clivo. I really do. It's got to be Daka over AU. But for God's sake, I don't know what Richards has done. He hasn't had a start since he's been with us. Although he's come
Maybe he's crap. Maybe he's crap.
Maybe he is crap. Yeah, but again, we don't know as fans because we've not had a chance to see him. But even so, if we need to take Daka off late in the game, and I never know why we always need to, don't bring AU on.
That's where I put Bobby in.
Oh, I agree. I think Bobby would totally,
It's not an alien position to him. He did it at Bristol.
Yeah. I don't think. Yeah, I can't see any advantage of AU being in there at all. To be honest with you, I think he's just taking up somebody else's oxygen. I really
Pantomime villain, isn't he?
He is. He's behind you. No, he's not. He's on the floor. Oh, of course he is. It's AU. So, boom. Right, let's get on to this then. So, score predictions. Now, I'm just having a look at some of our other presenters here. Craig has gone 2-0 to Leicester. Jim went 2-0 Leicester. Wayne 3-1. Dan 1-0. Kate's gone 2-1. I'm not yet seen what the other guys have gone for. But Clibo, what are you going for this one?
I think if we get an early goal, I think there'll be goals. So I'm going to say 3-1 City. Greg's just literally put it up as I said it.
3-1, yeah. If we get an early goal, there'll be goals.
Yeah.
God, that's a Michael Owenism, isn't it?
Well, if we get an early goal, that's singular. I said there will be goals.
I am being facetious. I am being... And you know what?
No, I'm being pedantic.
If it rains tomorrow... Yeah, you are. If it rains tomorrow, the grass will be wet. Reese?
If we play the team that us three have picked now, I think we'll win the game 3-0.
Well...
I do. I think we've got...
You said there won't be a clean sheet.
Well, I've changed my mind.
It's like Tony. It's like he changes his mind
Keir Starmer.
more than Starmer. This one.
Keir Starmer.
Yeah.
No, I've been thinking while I've been sat here. You know, I've been having a think.
Steady on.
But I just think to myself, if we go out and attack them and really stick it on them and whatnot, I think they'll crumble. I really do think they'll crumble, and their results have shown that. So yeah, I'm going 3-0. And I'm going to back Daka, Macassar, and I'm going to back a substitute goal. No, I don't think JJ will score. I'm going to back a Coley from a set piece.
That's not a bad shout at all. Craig has gone 3-1. Ben's gone 1-0. Ronald's gone 2-0 again. I was on the fence about this one because I was thinking possibly 2-0, but I wrote it down, and I agree with you, Reese. I've gone 3-0, and it would be such a Leicester thing to do, having got one clean sheet, that we go on a run and get 4 or 5.
I'm not sure about that.
Well,
but I'd like it.
But you know, that's the sort of thing Leicester would do, wouldn't it? I think that at half time there'll be a substitution. Ayo will come on for Daka and get a hat trick. No, I'm not being serious with that. Do not send the men in white coats round. But I think it will be 3. I think there will be a defender gets the goal. I think it might be Nelson again, to be honest with you.
That was a superb header, by the way. That was a really good header.
It was. I wouldn't mind seeing Ricardo get one. You know, he's not got one for a while, has he? He doesn't get forward as much as
I'd like to see Hamza get one. I
wouldn't have Hamza there, I'm sorry, anyway. But that's the one thing I did disagree with you on.
Silly.
Oh, come on. He was lucky not to give away a penalty the other game.
You on about that Ipswich game?
Yeah.
That's not a penalty. That's not a penalty. If you think that's a penalty, then the game's gone.
Well, the game's gone years ago.
I'm not even being biased. That's not a penalty. And it didn't help. The Ipswich players didn't help them by falling over the old fucking game.
Well, there is that. They do. No. I think the referee had just gone like, yeah, you just fall over anyway.
The amount of dubious decisions they've had this season. Fuck me.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go and join Ipswich.
Yeah.
We can have a whole team of them.
Yeah.
Exactly. Guys, thank you very, very much. Reese, thank you. Clibbo, thank you. Enjoy the game tomorrow, Reese.
Yes.
Look out for Wayne. Wayne will be there. Clibbo, hopefully see you in the post-match, seeing how things go at your end. And thanks everybody that's been in the chat. Really do appreciate it. Remember, subscribe to the channel, click the like button, click the notification bell, and if you're on your mobile phone, do remember as well to hype us. And if you've been listening via the podcast platform, and why would you want to listen to podcasts when you've got, well, 2 beautiful people on screen? I don't know about 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as Meatloaf said. Work out which one isn't. I'll leave that one with you to work out. But we'll be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock for the watch along. Thanks, everybody. Have a good Friday night. Take care. Good night.
Good night all.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.